Welcome, Questers, to the Bardic Quest Talk Show. It's been a few weeks. We've had things going on, but we are back. And finally today, we're talking about the Magic Stealer Rogue. Woo! We got there. It's only taken us a few months, but we got there. We got there. Very much looking forward to talking about that today. But before we get into that today, I want to get straight into a little bit of news that's come in over the last week. So it was GaryCon last week, I believe, at the time of recording, which is the D&D TTRPG convention laid on by Luke Gygax, the son of Gary Gygax, in honor, obviously, of his dad, and Dan Ayub of Wizards of the Coast, who I believe there's been a lot of changes of job titles and such, but I believe he is essentially the head of D&D, the D&D franchise as it stands. So he was there, and they announced that Luke Gygax is working on a new Guide to Greyhawk book in partnership with Wizards of the Coast, which is, I don't know if this has been officially announced as the title. I think it has, but certainly what everybody is talking about it being called is Melf's Guide to Greyhawk, because Luke Gygax is Melf. Melf himself is Luke Gygax. Melf himself.
Melf himself.
That's his new title. Let's forget all of the others. He will always be Melf himself.
And I don't know if you know, by the way, where the name Melf came from. A little bit of tidbit.
I don't.
It's a really inventive character name, because Luke Gygax
Male elf.
A male elf.
Yeah,
Yes.
we go.
And it's a smushing of male. Yeah.
Male elf.
So yes, this, I believe, is the first time that Luke Gygax has officially done anything in partnership with Wizards of the Coast. We were talking before we hit record, Luke Gygax has written adventures and things for his own publishing company, which I can't quite remember what his publishing company's called, but he does have one, and he writes adventures and stuff. But this, I believe, is the first time he's partnered with Wizards of the Coast. And of course, might very well mean that Wizards of the Coast are going to be putting a little bit more love and attention, possibly, into Greyhawk, maybe? What do we think?
It'd be nice to return to Greyhawk.
Okay. Agreed.
It's always nice to have to pick from.
I think so. Have you guys, because I've never really played, I've played some old school adventures which are Greyhawk, but don't really say, oh, this is Greyhawk. It's just...
I've played back in the day there, but it wasn't specifically stated it was Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Taking part in stuff that I think has been inspired by Greyhawk or Greyhawk flavoured.
Sure. Because I really don't know much about Greyhawk myself.
I mean,
there's a stuff
on the panel.
What we do? I mean, there's the Dungeon Master's Guide stuff, but I've not necessarily. I'm more of a Forgotten Realms person. I always have been since I was running 3rd edition. Forgotten Realms was the setting that I focused on. So even the stuff in the DMG, I haven't got around to reading yet in their 5.5 DMG because I've got about 20 pages on the Greyhawk setting in there, which I've not really read up on. So I'm kind of like, oh, a new setting, a revived setting, but I'm also kind of like, cool. That's the extent for me.
Can I read it before we give an opinion?
Yeah, because I feel like what a little I know about Greyhawk is it's like similar in tone to Forgotten Realms. So I suppose in that sense, I'm not drawn to it because I'm like, I've got Forgotten Realms for that. Unlike something like Dark Sun or Eberron.
The new things aren't a bad thing.
Yeah, no,
and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know it so well because I've not needed to. There's not been enough that's differentiated it for me to be like, oh, I'm curious.
See, I'm curious
with us
as a default. I'm curious.
Yeah, I suppose with us not being super familiar with Greyhawk, it makes it all the newer that we're get stuff, and it will be nice to have, I think, some new settings where you're not having to fit them around the existing lore of Forgotten Realms, for example. So whenever I've set things in Forgotten Realms where I'm wanting to do my own sort of story thing, I'm not having to think, oh, where is this in relation to Neverwinter and this, and whereabouts are we on the... Having a whole new playground to do some fresh stuff in, I think is nice. With some new cultures, some new factions. I know there's a fair few. There's a fair few novels set, I think, within. So you've got the opportunity for inspiration there, and obviously characters from said novels.
Of course, the thing is, Greyhawk is, for all intents and purposes, Gary Gygax's setting. which makes it, for the D&D purists out there, makes it a fundamental one. And I think what Luke Gygax was talking about in the panel was really trying to do what he can on his side and, of course, Wizards of the Coast. Because as time went on and TSR was sold to Wizards of the Coast and such, there grew a bigger and bigger rift between Gary Gygax and the franchise. And there was talk from Luke Gygax about wanting to repair those relationships and such, which I think is really nice. It'll be nice.
Very good step.
Yes. And I think it will be nice it's nice to see that heritage as we're moving past the 50th anniversary, with 5.5 being essentially the 50th anniversary edition of D&D. It seems like good timing and nice timing for that as well. The question is, and I think this is the big question for me, is whether or not this is something that is going to be a fully published hardback book, or whether it's just going to be something they're going to stick on DM's Guild and be like, yeah, this is official partnership content like they do with some other things.
You would think with the Gygax name they would go for a full book. You would think.
I'd hope so.
I could imagine them adding it piecemeal onto, so rather than just one drop here and having occasional drops more from Greyhawk, like a running column, as it were, on D&D Beyond. And then once they've got enough content, chuck it all in a book.
Yeah. Here's the other interesting thing, though, and this is actually a bit of news that I forgot to give you guys a heads up about before we hit record, that has just occurred to me. There was also mentioned, I don't know if it was part of this panel or it came out at the weekend, but a couple of things. One is that there's going to be more announcements from Dungeons and Dragons at GenCon for what's coming out over the next 12 months from GenCon, so from summer this year through to summer next year. And the management at D&D, at Wizards of the Coast, now want to use GenCon as their announcement point, like they used to back in the day. Their announcement point every year. This is what you can expect for the next 12 months, which is really nice news. But actually, the other thing which got me very excited is that they are really exploring now going back to releasing more short form adventures, not the big hardback adventures, but more kind of like 30-page adventures and things like that, and doing much more of that stuff, which has got me really excited, because some of those old 30-page adventures, which are easy to pick up and run, are just so much nicer than... I love the hardback cover books. I think they're great. They feel like they're like the big movie spectacle. Whereas the soft covers is like the TV episodes.
It's a lower barrier to entry to be. Just poke my toe in.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Try.
And I think as well, I do lament the death of the word adventure in the D&D zeitgeist. You have people talking campaigns or one-shots these days.
I've never actually thought of that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because the adventures that Wizards of the Coast release mostly are campaigns, not adventures. And so the word adventures got lost in the mix somewhere, because back in the day, a campaign was a series of adventures that were tied together loosely, sometimes more strongly. So if they're going back to the 30-page adventures, then we might be getting... That might return to the zeitgeist a little bit more as well.
I think that could be really useful because one of the things I do, I DM one-shots at a local board game cafe every fortnight. But what that board game cafe is currently doing is they're getting some of their more regular customers and they're offering them a short sort of 6-session adventure. So that their characters can progress, they can do all of it, because they're only really accessing part of the D&D at the moment through but without the commitment of running a full paid campaign, giving 100%. Them this, and that is the step. You've got some of these people who they did one shots as their very first introduction to Dungeons and Dragons, and then this is the next step up for them, and it's warming them up too. And I guarantee there'll be at least half of them by the end of that six session. They'll be like, I am so hungry for a campaign now.
That's the way to get people.
100%. And I see it because I've been thinking lately myself, and I have during my 3 years of running paid games, I have been like, I've always been testing the waters for short adventures. And I find that the market isn't as fertile, shall we say, for that as either one shots or long form campaigns. But my theory is it's because these days they don't have the brand awareness, because all of the marketing from D&D goes into the big campaign books. Whereas one-shots, it doesn't really matter, because the idea is you're scratching that itch. It's a few hours of D&D. It doesn't really matter that much what the story is. You're just there to have a jolly good time for a few hours. Whereas an adventure of, say, 6 to 10 sessions is a commitment still. And so you want something with that brand awareness. Now, obviously, if you've been in the hobby for long enough, a Tomb of Horrors, a Sunless Citadel, you know those sorts of adventures. But if you're new to the hobby, Sunless Citadel is not going to mean anything to you, for example. So what I think will be, what I'm hoping they're going for, is that they're going to release these as physical products, soft cover books, things like that. Because I fear that they'll do all that work, they'll put it as a D&D Beyond exclusive download, and nobody will care. Or it'll go on DM's Guild, and nobody will care. That would be my worry. I hope that it's more, we're going to put out these $10 books.
Do you feel like they might not have them as digital, or have them as individuals, but then do compilation books that are hardback?
That's certainly possible. I think that's certainly possible, because they're looking at this seasonal play. And one of the things that I'm hearing through the grapevine, and I think they talked about this at the panel, was that they're bringing back D&D encounters, which I'm really glad, because I love D&D encounters. I want to run more D&D encounters adventures myself, because I think they're just fun for a good one shot. But so they're bringing that back now. Greg Bilsland, who is the executive producer, I think, for D&D now, he was one of the heads of D&D encounters when that first came out, was first being used for 5th edition, at least. Obviously it predates 5th edition, and so he's in charge, which means D&D encounters should hopefully be very healthy, because it's a kind of labor of love for him. But I'm also hearing that they're wanting to release these D&D encounters adventures, releasing them as PDFs and physical books, physical hard copies. Now, whether or not that means that those physical hard copies are going to be available to buy for people, or if they're just going to be sent to like the game stores for the DMs to have to run, I don't know.
Why only send it to game stores? That to me is short-sighted, I think.
I would think so,
because there's so many people who do it as RB on the side.
And if there's
it'll be about cost. That's what will be.
And if there's a company that never makes short-sighted decisions, it's
right. Yeah. And we're going down that never be sponsored tube right now.
I think it will come down to printing costs ultimately, I think, for them. Because the cost of printing has really gone through the roof in recent years. So I think that will be the factor that decides it for them. I think it would be a real shame, though, if they didn't make them available to buy.
I think it's a real shame, because even though there's loads online, I think when something's only online, it's got so much to compete against. Whereas
100%.
I've
a lot of noise.
So much noise. Which one do you pick? I don't know. Overwhelming. I'll just go for the thing either that was recommended, or ones I've picked up that I've never had before, were short little booklets like our adventures one-shots, because I saw them in person and I went, ooh, I read the back cover and went, I'm going to buy this. I'm now going to run that eventually. But I think that's still such a strong motivator to buy something when you see it physically, whereas a PDF on a website, I think is so much harder to actually market for people to then actually buy it.
Yeah.
Because there's a million PDFs.
I think if I was to be trying to find the middle ground myself and I was running things, what I would probably do, because they're not going to make a ton of money off of the physical product. They can't make a ton out of it. So what I would do is, if I was running it, I'd be like, if you are running the D&D Encounters program, we're going to send you 30 copies of this adventure for you to sell in your shop, and make it exclusive to the shops that are running the Encounters program. Because what that does is it encourages not only sale of the product, but also encourages game stores to actually run the encounters program, because that's the only way that you can get physical copies of this book is to go into a friendly local game store that sells it. And then if you want a digital copy, you can just buy it on D&D Beyond.
Yes.
I think that's what I'd do to the middle ground.
A lovely way to water the economy. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think then it handles the print costs problem for them. It also it does everything quite nicely, that there's physical copies out there for those that want them, and also it means that the game stores can charge a premium for them too, because they're limited edition basically.
And the game stores will do part of the work of marketing it for them. You know what I mean? If they know they've got it exclusive, they're going to shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'd do, but whether or not that is what they do, I don't know. But I just want to be able to get physical copies of them.
Same. It's all about tangible.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we are also millennials who are known for liking that.
Yeah, I've just never been able to sit and read something from a screen that go in. But there is some science to back that up, apparently. I don't know.
I can, but it has to be recommended by someone. It's not just I'll have a Google and pick that one. It has to be this specific person or this creator I really like. It will be something very specific for me. And then will print it myself. Because, again, paper.
Here's my physical copies of some Adventurers League D&D encounter stuff that I've printed out into my folders, so I can flick through them and sit with a cup of tea in my comfy chair and sit and read. I got loads of folders like this of D&D Adventurers League adventures, just because I want a hard copy.
Yeah, you can hold.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's all the news that's come out of that recently. So some interesting stuff for where things are going. But I gotta say, I'm liking everything I'm hearing from the new management team overall. They seem to be going in the right direction. Hopefully it's not lip service, and hopefully it's back to the good old days. But we shall see. All right. So before we get onto the Magic Stealer, I don't do enough promoting of the channel on this show. If you are new to the Bardic Quest channel, and this is the first video of ours that you are watching, please do and subscribe. We've got actual play stuff, which is our main thing. We got roleplay tips videos as well, and obviously shows like this, plenty of shorts and stuff as well coming out. And obviously also, if you really want to take the dive, you can support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Bardic Quest. We've got 2 tiers. We've got the copper tier, which is essentially early access to our weekly episode of our actual play show, and also our silver tier, which gives you access to our insight check, which is mostly Q&A stuff, so submitted questions, mostly to me, but occasionally with you guys guesting too, and a little bit of a look behind the scenes of what we're doing as well. Yeah, that's patreon.com/Bardic Quest if you want to really show our support, but mainly subscribe. And if you've got any comments on what we're talking about as well, drop those in too.
Watch our adventures.
Indeed.
And
We are professional actors. We can do acting with the role play.
And on the subject of, we were talking about taking it to a big dive to go into a full campaign. If you do like the idea of trying some short form adventures, come to Flan.
Yes.
We have a series of videos with smaller adventures for you at lower levels in our playthroughs of Defiance in Flan.
Yes, and some more shorter adventures coming in the pipeline very soon as well. Yes, said Callum, said.
Thank you.
All right, shall we get into our main topic today?
Yes,
here?
this is the one.
So obviously this is the Unearthed Arcana. What we want, though, today is the Rogue subclass. This is from the Mystic Subclasses Unearthed Arcana, which came out at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, the feedback period for this is now over, but it's still interesting to look at because it's going to give us an idea of some of the things that they have in mind, some of the ideas that they've got for what's to come here with the Magic Stealer Rogue. So the concept of this rogue is, whereas most rogues and thieves and stuff are going to try and steal coins and valuables and things, the Magic Stealer is indeed trying to steal magic from people which is so cool.
That is really cool.
Really cool. So, just on concept alone here, before we really get into much else on the old features, in terms of just concept alone, what do we think?
Yes,
big
I'll
plus.
get into the theme. Great. I'll come into later how much I think that it mechanically actually comes into it.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the concept.
I love the concept.
Like,
I
I'm
think
just
it's such an interesting concept. For putting my actor hat on, not that I ever take it off, but anyway. The idea of not actually inherently having magic, but being able to steal it and use it. The roleplay possibilities. What came to mind to me was if anyone ever used to watch Heroes, Sylar, that's kind of that thing.
Yeah.
Very high powered, they can actually be very scary if you can take others' powers and then use them. Inherently, he didn't have them to begin with, but he could extract them.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about this, Sylar.
It's similar, I think.
But yeah, very similar. And ironically, I suppose Rogue from X-Men too. In that sense as well, a little bit. Yeah, I like the thing that they say at the beginning here as well about, like, a part of it being not just repurposing the magic that they steal, but also eluding divination stuff as well. So much. As a DM, when I've pulled that off, of, like, bypassing divination spells of players, it's super fun. So to be doing that as a player, it could... whether or not it will translate to play very well, I don't know, because obviously a player is less aware of when they're managing to be successful in the divination stuff. A lot of that's more subtle.
Yeah.
But certainly as a DM, I get a huge kick out of knowing that the players are trying to work something out, and I'm like, that I enjoy. But yeah, so yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so let's take a look at these features then. So to start off at level 3, you get 2 features. You get Empowered Sneak Attack. So immediately after a creature you can see within 30 feet of you casts a level 1 plus spell, you take a reaction to absorb magical energy from the spell. So cool. When you do so until the end of your next turn, the next time you hit with your sneak attack, you deal extra force damage equal to a number of d6s equal to the spell's level, and then add them together. So let's say you're a level 3 rogue. I think you're still on, is it 2d6, is it, for sneak attack at level 3? I can't remember. But anyway, and you're absorbing, say, a level 2 spell. Your sneak attack is going to get even more potent. I just love that.
I'm getting visions of the rogue entirely flipping and avoiding a fireball, and then
yes,
charging the wizard.
That is so freaking cool.
Did I read it correctly that this is a reaction? So is this an automatic success?
Yeah.
You have to roll.
Yeah, so it's an automatic success to absorb the damage, yeah. The cost of it, of course, is that you then can't do attacks of opportunity and things like that. But as a reaction, like, why would you use your reaction for anything else?
Exactly. It's no, I'm not gonna wanna win this fight, actually. I thought I'd make it harder for myself.
That will encourage you to act like the magic stealer. When you get the sense that a fight is about to break out, you are sniffing out if any of them might be mages. You know, hang on a minute.
And then, because the thing is, they don't even have to be targeting you. So long as they're casting a spell within 30 feet. So obviously you've got to get a bit close to them, but not that close. But yeah, so long as you're within 30 feet of the spellcaster at all times. So that in itself is going to be like a little bit of a goading thing, right? Where the rogue's getting close and going, all right, let's do this shit.
This is where I think the true sort of theme of the Magic Stealer stuff comes in, because I think though Magic Stealer is definitely a better name, it more surfs magic than it does steal it.
Yeah.
It's not denying, it's not there's taking away from the caster itself, or nullifying or pocketing the spell. It is riding the waves of magic, which I think is very cool. I am picturing a rogue literally like surfing along beams of magic that are flying out towards it. His blades. It's a very potent image.
Yeah, like in the same way, like I'm picturing like in Star Wars Episode 2, there's your Star Wars reference, folks. where
Mhm.
Count Dooku's flinging his Force lightning at Obi-Wan and he holds up the lightsaber and absorbs it. I'm picturing that, except
Mhm.
now the rapier is now, if it was a fireball, say, is now ignited in
hot.
flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is such a cool image. Yeah, really like it. Now, there is a bit of a limitation on how many times you can use that, of course, which is based on your intelligence modifier, which is interesting.
Minimum of
Rogue.
once, so even if your intelligence is low, you can
Yes.
still get it once.
Of course, but it's going to encourage you, if you're going to take this,
Yeah.
it's going to definitely encourage an
yeah.
intelligence
Of
build
course. Yeah.
rogue, which is nice. Because that's not the usual thing that you, unless you're going to go say arcane trickster or something like that.
But then that
Arcane
also-
trickster intelligence.
This is where I like with how this informs your role play and your gameplay.
Mm.
So you go, okay, so we're encouraged therefore to make our rogue an intelligent rogue. Intelligence is going to be one of the stats we're going into. This is mean that your rogue is going to have good arcana, good investigation, nature, religion. That then informs, okay, what's the personality
Yeah.
of this rogue going to be like? What other roles, other outside of combat, is this rogue going to be leaning in towards? Because you have a high intelligence rogue, and then you start getting expertise and these sort of things. You've now got a published historian walking
Yeah.
around with you. You've got Batman level investigation.
Yeah.
Going on. What is this? Who's this sagactic magic stealing detective that's walking around in the party?
Yeah, and I suppose you are encouraged anyway to go intelligence build with a rogue because of investigation and things. So if you're a rogue that you definitely want to be focused on finding traps and things like that, then obviously you're going to want to do investigation anyway. But this really makes, in many ways, intelligence one of your top level stats as opposed to something like Dex. There's certainly a case to be made if you're going to go Magic Stealer to go intelligence first. Then
you're
Dex.
more showy. This is a rogue that is less about staying hidden.
Yeah.
And more about get in there. Get in there. We always mock my husband, who's a standard assassin. He's, there's your boulder. There's your rubble that you can hide behind.
Yeah.
But 30 feet puts you in danger of being charged, perhaps. But you've pair of hand crossbows kiting around, empowered crossbow bolts firing spells back at them.
Oh, that's cool.
This is more of the rogue in the sense of your what's it called? Your me and my brain. In Guardians of the Galaxy, lovable rogue character rather than sneak rogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely agree. It is quite a flashy subclass, yeah, for sure.
If you're flashy, just visible.
Yeah, yes,
involved.
Yeah, the only reason you're really hiding at this point is to get the sneak attack in the first place.
I mean, it said you can see within 30 feet, but that doesn't mean you're not hiding behind that wizard while he's casting that.
Right.
You pop out with some.
Yeah.
For sure. So also at level 3, you get drain magic. So draining the power from ongoing spells to recharge your allies' magic. Very nice.
I wasn't expecting a sort of like group boosting ability. I like that.
It's nice, yeah.
Rogues aren't usually known for being like having support. Abilities. That's usually your bards being like.
So I read this Magic Stealer just after we had talked about the Vestige Patron Warlock. If you're of limited spell slots, the Magic Stealer is your absolute best friend. And I started looking at how well this rogue works with the other classes in this Mystic, and it got me thinking you could just do a Mystic party and it would be a strong party.
Cool.
You look to obviously Warlock are always wanting the chance of getting spell slots, but then you look at things like go to the Spellguard Paladin with its extra spells. It has Detect Magic, it has See Invisibility, it has Silence, all long-lasting spells. And then the moment you go, okay, I don't think we need Detect Magic anymore, I've detected the magic, and the spell stealer goes, cool, have your spell slot back, there you go.
Yeah, 100%.
No longer are you going, I would like to take 10 minutes to ritually cast Detect Magic. Please.
Yeah.
So you get it back.
Mhm.
Of course, they can only do it once per rest of either length. But yeah, if you're in it, if time is of the essence,
Yeah.
and you need a quick detect magic, and you don't have time to sit and ritual cast, it's a great thing to have. So just if anybody's not actually watching their screen and just listening to what we're saying, just so mechanically you're aware how this works. So it's a magic action. You can touch a willing creature, and then one ongoing level 1 or level 2 spell on it. And the creature immediately recovers 1 expended spell slot of level 2 or lower. Now, what's interesting is it's a spell that is on the creature. So I don't know whether or not Detect Magic counts.
Is it cast on self, though?
No,
Let's
you can
have a
tap.
look. Let's have a look.
I think it's cast on self.
Well, Detect Magic.
Yeah.
I suppose it would be. Let me have a look.
Huh.
Detect Magic. Yeah,
Yeah.
range self. So
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose it would.
Mm.
Yeah, I suppose it would. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't really thought about it that way.
Me
Yeah.
neither. I always think, oh, you're just detecting magic, but yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
but I
casting
suppose,
it
yeah,
on yourself.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, I
There
feel
we go.
silly now for even questioning it in the first
Yeah.
place. But yes, but yeah, very nice to be able to recover those spell slots on behalf of other people, which is also really cool. Because also, like, I'm picturing in my head in a combat scenario where it's oh shit, I'm low on spell slots, guys.
Yeah.
It's but it's okay because that spellcaster has cast something on you. The enemy
Feels
spellcaster.
like-
So let me just dart through the battlefield. There you go. Ping. Have your spell slot back.
He's a bit of a Robin Hoodie. He steals
Yeah.
from the Lich and gives to the poor.
Oh dear. That was good though, Callum. Actually,
Thank
that
you.
was good.
Thank you.
I have to reluctantly admit it was good.
Yeah. So already, just from taking the subclass, looking very good, and obviously what you were saying, Callum, in terms of things working really nicely in sync. I think it's pretty obvious to us now that we know everything that we know about what's coming out. That all of these subclasses are going to be in Arcana Unleashed. I think is pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
Which in that context as well, I think, and knowing obviously that Deadfall, like a campaign against the Red Wizards or an adventure at least,
Yeah.
against the Red Wizards of Thay, like, I think we were talking when I was talking about the Paladin.
Yeah.
How I was saying how context is everything. And having that context that these are coming out probably in a book that is paid to an adventure against the Red Wizards of Thay. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm very excited for all of the subclasses, but this one particularly is very nice. So then at level 9, you get Magical Sabotage, which has got a few new things to your Cunning Strike feature. You add some new strike options, which I'm really liking the Cunning Strike options stuff, just generally. I feel
anything
rogue
that gives,
maneuvers.
Yeah, anything that gives more tactical options to a class, particularly a martial class, where they don't have the changeable spell book and all of this sort of thing. Just want to go, I hit.
Exactly. And to be fair to them, in 5.5, they've done a really good job at making the martial classes feel really exciting, as opposed to, I get to attack an extra time this turn. So.
It might be simple, but it works.
Yes. It's just not the most fun. It's not the most sexy thing, is it really?
That's how you play it.
I have said that before when I've had a fighter in my party and I've gone, well, yeah, I mean, you get an extra attack, but it's not very sexy. And they're like, how dare you, sir? An extra attack is
to be
very
fair,
sexy.
I used to think that before I played Saga, and I was like, I love this. I didn't think I would. The only one, this is a minor niggle, I think, out of these Cunning Strike options, the only one I don't think thematically works is Steel Resistance.
Shall we start with that one then?
It's like, this is just a flavor niggle for me. I would go, I don't see how, because spell.
Let's talk about how
Let's
talk about how it works mechanically, and then
I just think, like, sure, as an ability, great ability.
Yeah.
Do you want to read out how it works?
Yeah. So mechanically, how it works, I've got to refresh myself on Cunning Strike, to be honest, because there's a cost to this, isn't there? So you get it's your sneak attack dice, isn't it? That you're spending each. You've deployed. Sorry, I'm just refreshing myself on Cunning Strike for the audience as well, because I don't know how many are familiar. So you develop cunning ways to use your sneak attack. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can add one of the following Cunning Strike effects Each effect has a die cost, which is the number of sneak attack damage dice you must forego to add the effect. That's right. Starting from level 9, you have 5d6 for your sneak attack. So for steel resistance, you're basically reducing your sneak attack damage down to 3d6, the cost of the 2d6, if that makes sense. Audience, I hope. So when you do that, you choose one kind of damage. If the target has got resistance to that kind of damage, until the start of your next turn, the target loses that resistance, and you gain resistance to that damage type yourself.
I don't feel that feels spelly enough to just be suddenly resistant to type of damage. Like the other one, spell susceptibility.
Disrupt spell are both about spells, yeah.
This is a magic stealer rogue.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And this is, you are now resistant to bludgeoning damage. To me,
I suppose they were probably
jarring.
thinking about the fact that a lot of resistances, not all, not by a long shot, but there are a fair number of resistances that feel magical in their nature.
Yeah.
But you suppose you could have it that the rogue is using their magical empowerment, the magical energy they have stolen, and that is one of the ways that they can.
Yeah, I see that, but
it does take some more heavy lifting.
Thematically, it jars to me. I think it's kind of, and we're going to crowbar this in. It's not quite magical. It's just, I get that feeling.
The one thing that this rogue actually steals, and it's not magic.
Yeah,
but it's still intangible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just as an ability, I'm not saying the ability is bad. I'm just saying thematically feels clunky to be.
Yeah,
like,
I'm totally with you.
See what I mean? It's like, now you're resistant to slashing damage. How?
It is where sometimes the way they write things with D&D is sometimes I'd like them to be a little bit more, give us a little bit more narrative flair than just the name of
make this
thing.
more. I think it's maybe too broad. If it was necrotic damage, or choose between necrotic, some other damages. See what I mean? If you could choose between like elemental damage, necrotic damage, that would feel magical. But if it is any type of resistance, then it is. You can take bludgeoning or all that.
I guess, though, the way that you would justify, the way I would justify it in my head with the bludgeoning and piercing and stuff is, and I guess this is where they've made this more difficult for themselves by removing resistances to non-magical weapons.
Yeah.
Is they've made this less clear. But in my head, I'm thinking like a vampire having resistance to bludgeoning damage or whatever. Yeah. They have that resistance because of their magical nature. So what you're removing is that part of that creature's magic that makes them resistant to those sorts of things.
Whereas a skeleton isn't resistant to piercing damage because it's magic. It's because it's a skeleton. It's full of holes.
It's full of holes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's where it doesn't hold up, though, isn't it? Because it's in those moments where it's not really magical that they're resistant to those things.
Yeah, because you've made an entire non-magical. The Brave Fog is having a way day today, guys. Bear with me. You've made an entire class that is not magical, given them something specifically magical as a boost, which is new and exciting, and we're all excited about it. So then that's where this vague resistance that could be applied to all resistances is to... Oh, that's just it feels too much of an ultimate buff.
Yeah, it's too broad for the theme, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's my only niggle. No, if I was the editor of this book, I'm like, this has to be more magic specific.
Oh, if you did a cunning strike on a, hang on, I've disconnected. Hang on, there we go.
Plug yourself back.
If you did a cunning strike on a bear totem barbarian that is raging, you could choose any resistance other than force and had it.
See what I mean? It's too... I think it's so broad, it's actually too powerful.
The other thing I am looking at is I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I cannot wait to add magical sabotage to my assassin NPCs.
Oh my
god.
My god. That's for things like a barbarian or things like that.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, mate.
I think they should niche down that ability a bit more to make it
I agree.
more magical or a different magic specific ability.
I agree.
And again, I'm not saying it's a bad ability. I'm
It's
just
a good
saying
ability. It's a 2d6. That's a lovely ability.
Yeah, I would change it to steel energy resistance and put it that way. And as you say, make it things like necrotic, psychic,
Lightning.
fire, cold, that sort of thing. And remove the bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's the bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing ones that I'm. But how? Just thematically, obviously, how anything can be said. Yeah, magic. Move on.
Yeah,
we've met. All of us have seen many of films too. Yeah, it's magic. Don't think about it. But in this, I'm like, because I'm also thinking as a writer, I'm like, I don't like how vague it is, and I also think it becomes too powerful as a cunning strike option, because once you figure out what damage they deal, you're gonna use this. I mean, you're gonna take the
but
it's level 9 at the same time.
But as I say, by the time you get to you should feel very powerful at level 9. By the time you get to, even though it's 2d6, by the time you get to level 9, you can trade 2d6.
True, but again, let's not make it too easy.
Yeah, that also true. Also agree. Big agree.
And rogues I love rogues, I do. But they're one of the most OP classes to begin with, and here it's like, more. Let's have.
What I will say though about the 2024 rogue though is because everybody else has had so many new interesting things added on, the rogue by comparison hasn't. I found that at least at my tables, people are playing rogues less. I think with 5.5, at least from what I'm seeing anecdotally anyway. And I think part of that, because we were talking about this at one of my tables the other day, I think part of that is rogues compared to a lot of classes now feel really dull.
It's because they've been the star child for so long.
Right.
They've been the favourite for so long, and now they're like...
I think in fairness, I think part of that is also because within the new rules, one of the things that empowers them most isn't something that's on their pages.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is Nick.
Right.
Nick as the martial mastery Nick makes a rogue so much more powerful because all of a sudden you're never using your bonus action for that second attack. You are freed up to do all of your other stuff with it. So whilst having become, but because that's not in their main section, look quite as sexy as some of the others.
And people might forget to use it if it's not in the main write-up.
Oh, I have to remind people about martial mastery.
Yeah,
it's something that gets missed a lot, unless you're running on Foundry where it automates the whole thing. Anyway, let's talk about the other Cunning Strike options as well. So we've got Spell Susceptibility.
Yeah.
Which, try saying that when you've had a drink. Which, again, a cost of 2d6 on your sneak attack damage.
This is theme appropriate. It's very theme appropriate.
I think so, yes. As the target has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell until the start of your next turn. A really nice tag team move if you've got a spellcaster in your party.
So good.
When you can see it where the wizards, I've totally got to disintegrate on this motherfucker. And then be like, I've got you. Run in, sneak attack, spell susceptibility, good luck. You're about to be dust. That's fun.
You're suddenly between this and your drone magic. You're a rogue that the party naturally likes. You become the most popular guy in the party.
He's an asshole, but look at what he can do.
What a guy! What a selfless fighter.
I really like this one. I have no notes. How about you?
Yourself? I think it's wonderful.
I'm not gonna moan. I'm sure there'll be paragraphs of my opinion on Steel Resistance.
As someone who enjoys playing characters as well, I would play a character that has abilities that affect the battlefield or their compatriots. Everyone benefits. This has made me want to play a rogue more.
100%.
This is a rogue for people that want to not just roll lots of damage dice, that want to actually impact the battlefield in a way that really... Because I love it when someone succeeds and I'm like, I help with that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to see, with this class, I want to see high fives over the table when the double teams pay off and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a subclass designed for combos, and I love anything that encourages that.
I do love that about the Bard. Your inspirations and all the support options, all the support spells as well.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. So finally, of the Cunning Strike options, we have Disrupt Spell. This is the most expensive one. This is a 3d6 cost as opposed to 2d6. So at level 9, you're reducing your sneak attack to only 2d6, which is the same as a level 3 sneak attack. So a big cost. The target's magical... Yeah, this is Disrupt Spell. The target's magical acuity is disrupted until the start of your next turn. Whenever the target casts a spell during that time, it must succeed on an intelligence saving throw, or the spell dissipates with no effect, and the action, bonus action, or reaction used to cast it is wasted. If that spell was cast with the spell slot, though, the slot is not expended. Wow.
I like that. This is what I mean. Theme appropriate.
Question about spell slots here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether things have massively changed with the Monster Manual in the 2024 edition.
Yeah.
But a lot of monsters traditionally don't have traditional spell slots. They have uses per day.
Correct.
Would you, as a DM, rule that to be a use per day, but as a slot?
If I was honest, I probably wouldn't. Because I think player characters are powerful enough without nerfing my monsters.
I think I wouldn't
However,
if it was a per day. No, I wouldn't.
No.
Oh, well, because it's saying this. If we're considering it a spell slot, then the slot isn't expended. Whereas
so
if
it would
it's
expend.
Not counted it would expend a use per day.
Yeah.
So it actually makes it worse for the monster.
So if they have a staff with charges, drain.
You could drain it, yeah, you could drain a charge. Sure, I'm not too focused on that massively because I'm rarely, when I've been playing combat, been like, oh, let's whittle this wizard's spell slots down. That's more of a DM
No,
thought.
I don't think you just think.
Did you kill him?
Swine.
You can't cast him, he's dead.
Yeah,
but
you
this
rarely
certainly
feel
being able to do in the same way that in the monk can cripple the big monster by just stun lock that thing so that we can get in. This rogue can do that to a caster.
Yeah.
You know, it can be like, I will stop whatever heinous magic is going on. You guys go deal with that. I've got this guy.
Well, it's similar to the beauty of counterspell. When counterspell works, power.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about it actually being worse. I suppose it is.
Technically,
but I'm looking at the Archmage, and the Archmage doesn't even use spell slots.
Yeah.
That makes it actually very potent, actually.
I would argue that those should count as spell slots, because rarely are you going to, unless for whatever reason you're doing Cunning Strike on a friend, on a fellow party member.
Yeah, or a mid-level, mid-level baddie.
I think the DM has homebrewed and has used a stat block. Has used a player character. You're not really going to be dealing with stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm honest, if I'm homebrewing a stat block, I'm using spell slots. I'm not using per day spells for a wizard or a cleric or something like that. But certainly in the Monster Manual, yeah, pretty much nothing uses spell slots in the 2024 Monster Manual.
We have to look at official content as not catering for homebrew.
100%. 100%. Yeah, completely agree. But yeah, so very interesting. So in the case of an Archmage, if it failed, it would expend. But let's acknowledge, though, here, that it is not just the first time they cast a spell. It is whenever they cast a spell during that round, which is... obviously, for the most part, it's going to be actions, but things like reactions and stuff like that as well are also going to be affected. Very nice.
Nasty.
Is it too expensive for 3d6? What do we think?
I think 3d6 potentially take a powerful magic caster out of the.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
because you're not.
I'd say not too expensive.
You've got to think of those 3d6. You might be losing those 3d6, but you're also preventing whatever dice are being rolled by that spell going off.
Yeah.
That if that 3d6 is stopping them from casting Fireball.
Yeah.
100%.
You are very much in the net positive of dice rolls.
Yes, 100% agree. 100%.
Also,
agree.
I think part of the fun of D&D is trying to do very quick bargaining of, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yes, completely. Completely.
It's
100% right.
Especially,
This
I feel like that when I play the Bard, and I'm like, okay, I've got one or two 8th level spells.
Mm.
I'm not just casting them willy-nilly. It's going,
Yeah.
Dominate person. Works.
Yeah, because this is costing me a fortune, like in resources. Yeah,
I mean,
you've got
100%.
polymorph. Okay, that's not 8th level, but
Yeah.
big, costly spells that you're like, please.
Yeah.
And again, Cunning Strike is attached to Sneak Attack, not to a particular type of attack. So you can be shooting that wizard from range,
Right.
that magic caster, and as long as you're getting yourself a sneak attack in some manner, whether it be steady aim, whether it be striking from hidden, you can just be keeping that on lockdown without having to get even too close to them. So it doesn't matter if they're hiding at the back of the behind their minions.
Yeah, very true. Nice. So a lot to unpack with those Cunning Strike options, but some really nice stuff for sure. A very nice level 9 subclass feature to be getting for sure. Nice and meaty. So then at level 13, you get 2 new features as well. This first one, Occult Shroud, I really like. Basically, whenever you finish a long rest, you cast the non-detection spell, and you can only target yourself though, but it lasts for 24 hours. So basically,
is that total not? Is that like total not?
So
not being
non-detection
detected? 'Cause I
basically
don't know
shields
that
you
one.
from all divination, so you can't be scryed on.
All-
They can't pick up.
All divination.
I think they can't
I
pick
don't
up
know
creature
that
type things
spell.
like that.
Hence, I was.
Oh, it's a non-detection is, to be perfectly honest, more of a DM's spell than it is a player's spell.
That's what I think. Yeah, your big bad's going.
Yeah,
But
you
it
can't
does-
scry on me.
It lets your rogue take stealthiness to the next level.
Yeah,
Because by the time you're level 13,
Yeah.
you should be able to be moving around almost silently.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
It
non-detection.
is
top of
witness protection. I now have a new name and social security number. You can't find me.
So just as far as the 5.5 Player's Handbook goes, is essentially the target can't be targeted by any divination spell or perceived through magical scrying senses.
Yeah.
So any spell of the divination school has no effect on the target.
That would be really cool for your sort of undercover
Right.
heist operation missions,
Mm.
which I'm a particular fan of. Let's go in as Ocean's 11, and you go and do the charming, and I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go over here. Yeah, they're some of my favorite missions to do.
Yeah.
So, if you were to have that card, you've cast that on you, you've got it lasting on you for 24 hours. If someone casts invisibility on you,
Yeah.
you can't be seen by invisibility.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
You are literally true and blind sight are all that are going to get you.
Yeah.
That is.
It's nice, right?
That's pretty nice. It's one more. It's one more way to make it slightly more difficult to stop you from sneaking.
Yep.
It's literally the Invisible Man. Just don't bump into someone.
Yep.
You could.
Although, let me just I just want to double check wording here, actually. I'm going to get the rules lawyery here.
Go on, live it.
Because I don't know if that is true, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because see invisibility is targeting yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Non-detection, the target can't be targeted by any divination spell or perceived through magical scrying senses.
But isn't see invisibility?
See invisibility is target self. Now, I would argue
self as well.
I would argue at my tables that actually I probably would because it's so fucking cool.
It's spirit. The spirit of it is
Yeah.
But you don't want to
rules as written. Actually, you can be seen by see invisibility.
See, that would not be a popular way to rule.
I agree.
Rule that spell at all. That's a riot. That's a riot on your hands at your table.
I agree.
Divination spells.
But rules as written, that is how it should work.
Yeah. Rules as written, but let's just say
here is one thing to consider if you have non-detection on you. Guidance is a divination spell.
So you can't be guided either.
You
Yeah.
cannot be guided
Yeah.
whilst you have non-detection up.
I don't need it.
That is going to be a moment of Wayne is going to rub his hands when the cast guidance on the road. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
It's
into that
time-
occult
it's time to
shroud,
pay
you're
the-
not.
it's time to pay the price for your
Mhm.
scribe
Your lack of vision.
How if you don't know where they are?
Yeah, in my head, this occult shroud is just a tinfoil hat.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably my favorite feature because I love divination spells. They're my favorite school of spell because I think they're not combat focused. They're all exploration and all of that side of things. They're my favorite to interact with as a DM when you like doing augury or commune and things like that.
You also become immune to Hunter's Mark.
Nice.
Yeah, how can they target
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, Hunter's
they
Mark,
show
Detect
those
Thoughts,
strategies?
obviously. Mind Spike. They
Brain?
can't get you with you. Clairvoyance and Tongue.
Stone of Truth, a divination. Or is
Potential.
that enchantment?
I think that might be enchantment. Arcane. Raise
Zone of
telepathic
Truth.
bond.
Yeah,
We're
Zone
getting
of
to-
Truth's
we're into the-
enchantment.
We're into the high ones now. True Seeing.
Mm.
Not realise that I think under official rules anyway, I don't think there's a divination spell above 6th level. Well, it's certainly not on the website I'm on.
Tongues, you can't be
Yeah.
be
You
target
can't be
tongues.
tongued.
You can't be. Moving on.
Gratitude to some of our recording sessions. We're moving on. Oh, well, I'm happy.
It's a daytime
Um,
session where
yeah, I see.
we're pre-watershed.
Oh, telepathy as well. The
So there
telepathy
are
spell.
actually a bit of a double-edged sword you have to consider. If you've got a member of the party who loves to get a bit telekinetic,
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
Or if-
definitely some downsides, aren't there? Hey,
if you've got a cleric that likes to guide, good luck, be sneaky.
What?
can.
What is
I
think
think I know.
What
oh,
kind
I
of
think message
message
might be
on that,
divination
actually?
as well. Hey,
is message
What?
divination? Because then you can't send a message. They have no
I
idea
didn't
where.
see
What
it,
are you?
but maybe it is.
So it's the double-edged sword of hope you're going to be okay for 24 hours.
message.
Yeah, I would say so far that's the
Oh,
least.
transmutation.
Yeah,
it's right
I think
there,
that
yeah.
is the least sexy one
Yeah.
so far.
You think so? The
yeah.
occult shroud.
Really?
You're not a
I
fan?
think,
I love it.
I think it's.
I think it's thematic. Great.
I-
really
I-
cool.
I
I think when I get to level 13, I'll have to compare it to what some other rogue
Fair.
classes and such get at level 13. But I'm hitting level 13. I'm like, what do I get? I can't be scryed up. Wait a minute. Does that extend to my party? No, so they can be scryed on, and if I'm in the area, okay.
I
all right, then,
disagree
suppose.
totally. I totally disagree. It's like Ultimate Spy.
That's
When
how.
you're
That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking too.
That's
I don't
like
know how much.
you
I don't know how much it's getting used though.
I would be.
I feel
Heist
like
missions.
non-detection is
Heist
an
missions.
everyday thing for Magic Stealer Rogue
Yeah,
be
quite
honest.
possibly.
because they
That-
can
that-
only
that
do it
wizard
when they
won't-
finish a long rest, so they can't
That-
just be
Mm.
halfway through the day and be like, "Oh, do you know what? I'm going to do non-detection now." It's no, I wake up, I'm not being detected today.
That wizard isn't seeing you coming.
Yeah,
That wizard's prep time.
they'll never see me coming. All right, so to balance out your level 13 woes, Callum, we have the
Ah.
other feature though.
Really damn good.
Yes, improved
Really
magic
damn
drain. So you can
As
now
a
use
bonus
magic drain as a freaking bonus action. So
I
to
mean-
remind you, magic drain being that one where you get to end an effect on a creature and give them some spell slots back.
I mean, this is the level of cool that people think they are when they wear indoors calls. Yeah, bonus action. Oh,
Yeah.
no sweat.
yeah,
This
bonus
is very
action,
cool.
and it goes up to level 3 now. Level 3
That
spells.
is
too.
very
So
cool.
to give you an idea of what that level 3 is thing that allows you to do.
Yep.
Oh, that was a really tough dungeon. Oh, can we take a short rest? No worries. Let's cast Aura of Vitality. Let's heal everybody up, and then I'm giving you your spell slot back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bonkers. that
Very,
you-
very good buffing.
I know it's level 13. It's high. It's
Mhm.
we should be getting powerful stuff at this. That's so good.
Though I'm noticing. Okay, here's. Actually, no. I'll come to that at final thoughts because I think you guys are probably going to say something similar. So I'll come back to that at final thoughts. But yeah, I like it. It's bonkers cool. It is bonkers cool. I just have some thematic problems overall. But again, we'll come.
This
to
guy is this cat's more the magic battery rogue.
that. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
100%. But yeah, aside from thematic problems that I might have, again, but that's more this subclass as a whole. As far as this feature is concerned, no notes.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
This is what when they hit level 13, I'm excited about getting the level 3 and the bonus action drain magic. And then I'm like, oh yes, and the tinfoil hat.
Yeah. So Capstone subclass feature, if you will, at level 17, then is Eldritch Implosion. So now when you use your empowered sneak attack, you can force the target to make a con save. And on a failed save, the spell dissipates with no effect, and the target has the stunned condition.
This is
until
what
the
I'm
start of its
talking
next
about.
turn.
Thematic. What?
Switching it to a con now makes it, when we're talking about going after the wizard, you don't want wizards making the intelligence saves. You want them making the con saves.
Exactly. They're made of paper.
Yeah.
And it's also it's can force, so it's one of those where you've now got an option, and not a lot of stuff has high intelligence and high con.
Quite right. Yeah. Not many things are muscly and super smart.
In fact, if you were to offer me two stats that I could target as options, those are probably the furthest apart in terms of stuff rarely. They usually have a rubbish one of those, or at least not a mega powerful one.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to allow you to get your stuff on most things.
The other thing as well is, I guess as you're saying, it is that thing of, do I choose the intelligence or do I choose the con? The good thing is, as well, is if they roll super high on their intelligence save or their cons, as you say, very rarely are things good at both. So the next time round, you're like, okay, I know which one to target.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the swinginess of the D20 to account for, but it gives you've got a data point to make that decision on, at least. But then giving it the stunned condition as well.
That for me,
that's lovely.
It's
lovely.
the rogue charging up to the wizard, doing his cunning strike. The wizard's blocking it with his intelligence as this blade is flashing with magic in front of his eyes, and then the rogue kicks him in the nadges.
So interestingly, it only has the stun condition until the start of its next turn. So
again, if they're not a demigod, it's okay.
Oh, but then so you're not making it lose its turn, so you can't. You can't stun lock it, I think it
automatically fails strength and dex saves.
But it is stun for everyone else's turn until then.
But rogues usually have high initiative, which means this could be done at the start of a round with several players, which could make it very powerful, even if it's... I think they thought of that.
Completely. Essentially...
Stun it at the start of the combat round through your party members.
It's an interesting choice to just give it the stunned condition, though, rather than essentially the incapacitated condition.
Again, let's not make him a demigod.
No, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why give it the stun condition? Because the whole point of the stun condition really is turn locking it.
This is meant to go against something we've not seen yet in the book.
Maybe. Yeah.
Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws, though, and attack rolls against it have advantage. So it does
attack rolls with advantage.
I see what you mean in terms of the difference between that and the incapacitated. But incapacitated is just actions and reactions, so that wouldn't do anything to it if it comes off it at the start.
True.
Short of reactions, you'd just be stopping it from making opportunity attacks.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I don't think I've ever seen anything get stunned until the start of its turn before.
Yeah, no. Maybe they've realised that maybe that's a bit too strong if you're making it miss its turn as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that I completely agree with. That it's the right move to not make it lose a turn. It's just an interesting choice to go stunned until the start of the turn. Interesting.
I think they're thinking level 17, big boss battles, loads of more than, let's say, at least 4 party members.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking usually rogue, high initiative, beginning of the round, stack. now the baddie can retaliate, so it's not too easy.
Yeah. I think I just, in a way, I prefer that they would do that in monster stat blocks for the players, stun them until the start of their turn rather than the end of their turn. Because nothing feels worse as a DM than stunning a player and being like, yeah, you miss your next turn that you're going to probably wait 20 minutes to have. Womp womp. Like it always feels awful. So I'd like them to do that in monster stat blocks more than I'd actually, because as a DM, I've got tons of creatures that can go most times, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd rather, because I did wonder with 5.5 if they're going to do anything to the stun condition, and I was really surprised to see that they didn't, to make it less bad.
Yeah, I avoid anything stunning or anything that limits my player's agency. I don't want to use.
Yes,
I want them to die because of their decisions, not because they couldn't make any.
100% agree. But yeah, no. All in all, though, a great feature. Very much like it.
Yeah, love it.
Very much like it. I was just curious as that was an interesting choice. Let's start the turn. But
overall, all good all the way through.
Yeah.
All stuff I'm looking forward to. In terms of player, there's nothing I'm going to be going, oh, this is the dud bit.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd be excited for every level if I was playing a Magic Stealer.
I want to play a Magic Stealer, and also the Doctor Strangey subtype that we saw.
All of the mythic subclasses, I want to give a go at some point. And I say that as a forever DM. I like all of these are subclasses. I would love to play one of these.
Oh, we potentially have some short adventures coming out soon. We have Arcana and Unleashed coming out. We have 4 subclasses here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So for me, my only gripe with this, thematically, is it feels less Magic Stealer and more Magic Giver.
I disagree.
You think so?
Yeah, I disagree, because it's more siphon. You're more of a magic siphon.
But I don't think it really does. None of the times when it gives off stops magic effects, does it gain? It doesn't take the thing. It stops the spell, but it doesn't then pocket anything from it. And then the times where it gives stuff, the only time where it does that is the drain magic, which it has to do on a willing creature. So it's not stealing because it's consensual.
Yeah. Okay, it's a fancy title. So, yeah, maybe the title of the subclass isn't quite right in a way.
Magic Sakura, but then it gives.
I think the drain magic thing, I would much prefer something where you're touching an unwilling creature, drawing the power out, and then flinging that off to somebody within 30 feet or something like that. That would be sweet.
What if that was the improved drain magic?
I'd trade that out quite nicely.
Yeah. Whereas now you can start literally stealing things out. And,
the spellcasters put mage armor on you. Yoink! Have a level 1 spell slot, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, but I would say that's what's happening in improved drain magic. Because they're recovering, your party members are recovering.
Yeah, but it has to be a willing creature with drain magic is the problem.
You can only target your friends. You can't target an enemy and steal.
Which was my problem with the improved drain magic, because it's more magic. I'm just giving you free magic as opposed to stealing.
To me, I think the draining thing feels very necrotic, very lichy, very vampiric. I think they've stayed away from that, because as soon as you're like unwilling creature, I'm thinking vampire, lich, more from the horror side of things.
I don't disagree with that. I guess my problem is you have 2 of your 6 features, which is about giving magic to your friends.
Yeah,
giving magic back to your friends.
So it should be magical Robin Hood, really.
Yeah.
Something like the 17th level ability on the Arcane Trickster is literally Spell Thief. And that does fit the theme of stealing the magic, because immediately after creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in its area of effect, you can use a reaction to force the creature to make a saving throw with its spellcasting ability modifier. Blah 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 blah. On a failed save, you negate the spell against you. You steal the knowledge of that spell if it's at least first level, and it's one that you can cast. And then for the next 8 hours, you know that spell. That is,
That's
I would
true.
lift that off and pop that onto
Mm.
Eldritch in place of Eldritch Implosion.
So is it a case
It
of
is
it
not
just has the
already
wrong
thing.
name? That the class just has the wrong name?
I don't know what. I haven't got a suggestion for a better name.
But yeah,
I don't-
Or a
something...
cooler name.
I guess for me, it's, I don't know if it's the wrong name. It's just that even the concept that they pitch is about stealing magic from people. They don't steal valuables; they steal magic. And of the 6 features that we've got here, the Empower Sneak Attack, I would say, counts. Drain Magic, I say, doesn't count because there's no stealing going on. Magical Sabotage, stealing
I guess-
Resistance, maybe counts-ish.
I
So half a
think
point?
they're seeing it with Drain Magic. Say the big baddie's done, because it says end one magical spell. They've got some magic effect on their ally. They're stealing that and transmuting.
Yes,
That's what they're
yes.
seeing.
That is, I think that you're completely right. That is absolutely the intent, that a spellcaster has put a hex on somebody or something, and you're like, okay, yeah, lose that and have the magic back. I actually don't.
You
I
want
don't
it to be
see that.
yoink. Yeah.
Wait, the thing is I think it's probably going to get used more the way that we've been talking about it. Of,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Utility.
you can use that spell, and I'll just give you your spell slot back. That's gonna come up far more often than the spellcasters put a negative effect on you. I'm going to take that and you get a spell slot. Yeah,
I do think that more so than with ending effects on nearly every level that you get something on this, it is something that you can use to benefit the party. And I feel like this Magic Stealer Rogue is going to be a clutch player in so many moments.
Oh yeah.
100%.
You really get to feel impactful at the table without having to be there. And while the others are doing this, I'm going to sneak off and do it. Like you can get your kicks another way to feel
changing the whole dynamic of a fight
Completely.
if you succeed with these abilities, for sure.
Yeah. I guess for me, I think I wanted more debuff than buff for something that is pitched as somebody that steals magic. I love the fact that it turns the rogue into a support class.
Yeah.
I just don't know if pitching it as this rogue stealing magic is the flavor for that.
Your buddy's going, oh no, don't steal my hex. I wanted it to stay there. There you go.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I suppose the other thing is, though, that's also really nice is that with the drain magic thing is where you've got a thing of, okay, a cleric has put a shield of faith on somebody or whatever, but that shield of faith is not as valuable as it once was.
Yeah.
You can then transfer that over, and it's like the transferring of magical power.
Yeah.
And again, that's where my problem is. There's not much stealing of magical power going on because, again, I think it's more likely going to be the fact that somebody's going to be like, oh yeah, let's pass these spell slots around.
This rogue is a lot more noble than selfless than its name suggests.
I think your niggle might be that they are not as... It changes the rogue personality in a way to be far more generous.
Yeah. And I do think I'd rather it be on an unwilling creature. Certainly at the improved drain magic, I think I'd rather say, oh yeah, you can now do it on unwilling creatures too.
Yeah.
That would be, I think, what I would prefer, because then it really ups the roguish quality a little bit more. But anyway, what are your thoughts, Anina? Because I've been going on about.
I actually didn't consider that at all. My only niggle was the fact that I'm like, any resistance, that to me is now too... It doesn't seem magical. It seems both too powerful, and like, how can you suddenly... It just didn't make thematic sense. That was my only niggle. I don't mind that it changes. This type of rogue isn't your standard rogue. It isn't. I would probably roleplay this as someone who tried to be a wizard and wasn't good enough. That kind of thing.
Nice, yeah.
See what I mean? So
if I can't have magic, no one can.
Exactly. I would... This, to me, I wouldn't play it the way I'd play Arcane Trickster Assassin. Definitely not
Mhm.
how you play Assassin. This is a different personality, similar skills, different personality. So I don't mind that it's not yoink. I don't. Because you can get the roguishness, which would be, haha, you didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
That to me is
definitely.
roguish enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only niggle is so what? They can now take, hits from Occult better. That it's a minor niggle. It's a minor niggle, but that's my only niggle with this. But the
Yeah.
fact that it expands all the base classes are stereotypes, right?
Does
The fact that it expands the stereotype doesn't bother me at all. Because it's a different class, so the personality is going to be different. It just shares, to me, it shares skills.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
with that resistance stealing, if you're fighting, I think we could be one of the most common forms of damage resistance is the three, the slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, and also one of the most common damage types dealt out by creatures. If you're dealing against like a creature with bludgeoning resistance, but also does say bludgeoning damage, and your rogue runs in and takes that, by the time they're level 9, that means that they have damage resistance to the damage type that's being done against them, uncanny dodge, and evasion. That is a funky rogue.
Yeah. So that's not your, ooh, you can't see me rogue.
You quarter it, halving twice the damage. And if you're going down the road, the DM route of, I round up for you and down for me, you're rounding down twice times in those instances.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that actually. Yeah.
That 14 damage becomes 3 real quick.
And all it requires is for you to guess the right resistances, which is very nice. Very nice.
So if you're a big baddie, you want this character down first.
I'm just seeing, because I already see whenever we get these characters, like how do they fit into our campaign? What what party composition thematically would look nice with this? I see this. I see a Spellguard Paladin. I see an Eldritch Knight and a Monster Hunter Ranger as a crack team of Mage Hunters going in to go track down some Red Wizards. That's gorgeous.
The Mage Hunters party.
Yeah, it is a Mage Hunter.
Really,
it's beautiful. I love it. And I gotta say, the fact that the only niggles we have with this subclass really are narrative based.
Yeah.
I think goes to show how good I think this subclass is.
I want to play this.
And that I'm not playing it. Yeah. So like, because it's better than what I'm playing.
It's like...
Yeah. It's great.
Because again, I can tell I'm excited when I'm like, ooh, this is the kind of character I'd make. I thought that in a few seconds.
Yeah.
That's been something that's been throughout this Mystic Subclasses release. Each of them have started painting pictures in their head. They've felt very thematic. They've had lots and lots of stimuli for you to start hanging your character on. That's what they should do. They should make you excited to play the character, not just being excited mechanically at what edge it will give you in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have both, for sure. And they've done a really good job, as you say, with all of those 4 subclasses that we saw. I'm really looking forward to see, because normally they throw in one that they haven't play tested or something into a book. So I'm really looking to see what the other ones might be as well. I am going to have to wrap up, though, here, folks. Unfortunately, we've gone a little bit long here, but that's fine. But let us know, folks, if you've made it this far, which of course you have. Let us know in the comments what you think. Is it narratively right?
Right at the end.
He said he's going, so I guess I'm too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but are we wrong? Or am I wrong? Is the magic stealer stealing enough magic or not? Tell me how wrong I am in the comments.
Tell us. Off you go.
But yes, thank you for joining us. Again, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, do hit that like button as well, and check out our main show, our actual play as well, which the 3 of us will be recording some more episodes of later today.
Yes.
So do
with
check
James,
out with James, of course. Yes. Check out the adventures of Duggar, Maggie, and Illyria. And if you want the full campaign, if you feel like a massive binge, we have our Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign as well, which is over 100 episodes of that. Some very good stuff in there as well. So check those out too. Lots of things for you to do. Go do all of them.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.